Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to Super Fun Sunday. What do we have here? We have Gen 13 by writer Brandon Choi, penciler J Scott Campbell, and inker Alex Garner. Yeah. So what is this gonna be? It's gonna be super fun. All right. So Gen 13. I was gonna do the mini series, but I think that this is a good jumping on point for Gen 13. The mini series is really good, and it gets way better. Issues 3, 4, and 5 are exceptionally improved. But man, Gen 13 number one of the ongoing series, I think really was like Campbell was starting to hit his stride, and he had boiled down his work into a really succinct and just really dynamic and fun delivery, and it looked great. So yeah, I thought this would be a good place to start. So this is the cover. We've got Caitlin Fairchild here, Roxy, Burnout, Rainmaker, and Grunge. And it was a fun book too. It was one of the funner titles, um, in particular from Wildstorm. But yeah, just in general, I mean, it was the characters were like I mean, look, Grunge had already almost kind of came and went. 94. No, I guess it was still around, but it just had a contemporary feel. So let's get into the story because it Jeff got really good. I mean, that face is just great. It's Jeff's style is a combination of many things, but just generally speaking, one thing that his work has is life. It's just got like a very fun kind of pop to it, and there's like a personality behind the faces. It's he doesn't just draw a face that's making this face, and it doesn't feel like that face. And a lot of that comes from Jeff's interest in like Disney animation and things like that. It's the stretch, it's the squish, it's all the facial features, each individual thing works as a whole to sell the facial expression. What happens sometimes when, say, if someone went like, "Well, I need to draw a shot like this. I'm going to sort of copy this." If you don't hit every line, abstract, like they're almost like subliminal lines that Jeff has in here, you're not going to get the feel of it. So the thing is if your eye is just tilted a little bit differently, if the eyebrow's in the same exact angle, if the little crease on the lip isn't in the exact same spot, you're going to start losing that facial expression immediately. And that's why someone like Jeff would be real particular about how his faces were inked, because it's the same deal. If Alex starts flattening these lines out or not hitting them right on the nose of what Jeff has symmetrically balanced in his piece, you're going to start to lose the facial expression. And I talk about the stability of art, and that like I usually I'll refer to it as a page. Like a page can handle a certain amount of wrong lines and right lines, and it's the same for a face. When you draw a face, it's a much more fragile balancing act. When I inked Travis, it was the same way. I had seen inks done on him before, and I could compare the pencils and the inks, and I could tell that they weren't hitting the nuances of the work, and so the things were changing. And if you looked at it in a simple way, yeah, sure, it was all kind of there, but it wasn't. It didn't have the same character, and it's real subtle. But that's the difference between being, a good penciler and being a great penciler. So yeah, this is a great little sequence. Nice small panels up here. He's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 panel page. That's pretty intense. And we'll just kind of move through this real quick. But great little sequence. The hands clash, the kick is blocked, and she takes the sai and cuts him, and it's just really cool. Super sai slash. It's tricky to say. This is really nice. I was talking. I did a video yesterday, a video review on my Patreon. I started one, and the artist uses a style similar to this in terms of how he renders costumes. it's not so much based on light sources, is kind of more of a stylistic delivery of light sources. And the shapes become really really important. It's like, I think sometimes people see like zigzags and things on fabric and little shapes like this, and again they think, well, if I just put this kind of down in some way shape or form, it'll sell the image. But the placement of that stuff is really really important too. I mean, you know, Jeff was starting to fire on all pistols, and you know, all that stuff can add up and either sell what you're trying to show or not. He's really really good with feet and the position that he puts feet in. I've always really liked his hands. They're very stylish, but you'll even notice on, if you look on my Instagram, the page that I drew hands. I mean, my hands actually kind of look like J Scott Campbell hands, and it's really just based on my fandom of this work from way back. You know, those little things that sort of impressed you tend to kind of stay with you. It's a weird thing. I didn't pull out any of his work to draw it, but I have a lot of J Scott Campbell in my stuff. There's no two ways about it. I would say that um, Jeff and Travis and Aaron Weisenfeld were three really, really impactful artists on me for different reasons. But these faces don't look as good as they used to me. In black and white, they're actually a little bit stronger. The color, because it's like kind of shading lots of things, is creating a little bit of weirdness. But it's an unusual face, and this looks a little trippy, but this is always a cute sequence. And he's got this just great kind of flip with the poses, and yeah, that's really really good. His attention to detail is really nice too. What I've always liked about Jeff's work is he places just enough background and information on the page where you can identify where they're at, and he doesn't overdo it. Like on a page like this, there's very little background, but I mean, you already know that they're in a living room. He gives you a little bit of the couch and this, and it works great. I actually inked this as a test page like 3 or 4 times, and I always loved this face and her hair and stuff like that. Again, it's her mouth is huge, and that's actually a very funny thing. I have to watch still to this day how big I draw a girl's mouth, and it probably comes from this. I never even realized that, but her mouth is huge here, and I mean, honestly, you could reduce it probably 20%. It would still look pretty good, although it would start to there would be a lot of space with the jaw. But that's really funny. I bet that's where I get that from. I had no idea. But yeah, I'll draw a mouse on girls, and I'll be like, why am I drawing it so huge? And it can look weird, like if you really focus in on it. It's, if the balance is there, it'll work. But again, sometimes it's one of those things. I always thought this face was great too. It's really suggestive, but quite good. And again, he's great at, like, this hand is behind this forearm. It's pushed back and then behind it, and it's at an interesting angle. And I mean, it's not the most distinct fist. Like if you really got anatomically sort of militant with it, but it works good enough. It sells the image. He's got nice anatomy here. This is really good. He's got the kneecap at a great angle. It's really really nice. And this is a tough shot too. And I love the lighting on it. That subtle kind of like shadow that's the nose is casting. This, he's indicating the plane of the face right there. It's really really good. This is another piece. I think this page probably 5 or 6 times is test pages. This was one of my samples that I did to get the assistant job. Is I don't credit it here. So Sandra Hope was assisting Alex on Gen 13, and generally assisting Alex was just filling in blacks and maybe the tiniest bit of background. Um, excuse me, but yeah, this was one of the pages that he gave me as a test page, and I inked this thing, I'm gonna say 5 times to get it right. And so when I encourage people to take stabs at things multiple times, do it. So cords, computers, spiral binders, this is all stuff that Jeff, his attention to detail on this is fantastic. But again, it's not overdrawn. You know exactly where she's sitting at. And this stuff can be time consuming, to do these spiral rings and these chords and stuff like that, and have it as neat as Alex and Sandra would ink it. Could be complicated. And I remember this, it was challenging little page. These ellipses could be tricky. And then we have Caitlin Fairchild, the tall one of the group, with little grunge sitting there. So let's keep going. This is a nice shot. It's her leg is out a little tiny bit too far, but it works. It's good enough. I mean, this she's very elongated, and Jeff was still working stuff out at this point. But again, great feet. The hands here were great. I love him, you know, gesturing to her and her reacting to him really quickly back fast. This is a fun hand. Again, the colors aren't really doing this stuff any favor. They're not bad colors, but the rendering on the faces is a little too airbrushy. So it creates like a lot of interesting things going on. I like the little blue cast light here is nice. This is great. Oh man, I love this stuff. We'll do 2 or 3 issues. I'll try to go a little faster. This is another page. I did this as a test page multiple times. I bet I inked this thing 3 times. You know, so at least I practice what I preach. It's funny going back and seeing this stuff now. I always thought that was a pretty cool Lynch face. He does Lynch real good. Nice attention to detail here. Jeff is really great with this sort of Art Nouveau swirly stuff, and you'll actually see it evolve quite a bit in his work as he went along. Man, I love Jeff's stuff. Seeing this is bringing back a lot of memories, good memories, of this. This was great too. He's so funny. It's kind of Clint Eastwood meets Indiana Jones. Oh yeah, this was a great page too. Face here was always a little weird to me. I think when he connected the jaw, it got a little funky, but it's not bad. I inked this a bunch of times too. It's funny. I'm telling you, dude, I didn't mess around. When I wanted something, I would go for it hardcore, full force. Turn the tables on comics. What I'm gonna do. This is great. Really, really nice. Her arm is a little short compared to like the length of her body based on everything else, but it still works because it's coming towards us and then back into space a bit. This is really, really good. And again, attention to detail. It's his little artifacts that he's got. I always thought that was nice. This is good, and this is a real cute face. And again, this is a very, very subtle gesture. It might not seem like it, but to me, there's life in this face. There's life in that smile, and it's all because of the balance. The same thing. Her eyes are just a little bit sad. He sells it with this sweep right here, and just the exact position of the pupil and the iris and all that. It's just really, really well done. And he got better. That's the thing is Jeff was growing at like an exponential like rate at this point. I came in on the second issue of this and started assisting, and I couldn't believe that I was working with someone that I admired so much. So Jeff, if you ever see this, it was so exciting being able to even be a small part of Gen 13. I loved it. And Alex too. Thank you for giving me that chance. This is great. I just love this. His burnout's awesome. Look at that hand. He's got it kinked at a really great angle, and just it's a gesture more than it's an anatomical drawing. And I like that. I like that a lot. This is great. That's, having your leg turned in like that on the body. It's a tricky little shot. We've got Rainmaker here, standing here. It's good. Really nice plant. Simple. It gets the point across. You know that you're in sort of like a den in the house. This, gives it that look, like it's a chill room. It's a little more casual than the living room. Excuse me. And this was a nice page. Again, yeah, the colors, they're not bad. It's actually like this is nice. This is good. It's a little it could even be the reproduction, but something in this area is catching me a little bit. I don't know what it is exactly, but still pretty cool. I'm liking this little blue that they cast. Like everything's always got like a little bit of a blue, like light kind of hitting it. It's warm here, but it's a nice page. He's real good with like this kind of stuff too, the fringy, swirly stuff. Oh yeah, the club. Nice sweeping perspective. Again, very simple. He didn't just he opted not to draw this building and just do it as a silhouette. I think it works fine. I really need to see the building exterior? No, not really. I would rather see a nice shot of her and then she's dancing and this mysterious figure is at the bar and he's watching her from afar. This is a great shot of the guy like looking at her face. And got creepy dude. I actually owned an original with this guy at one point. Really, really nice shot here. Man, he's starting to get into the flow big time. Again, great hand. We've seen this hand a million times in comics, but uh, he's got a real special delivery with it. This is really nice right here, this hand. Um, cool face. I like how he did the eyes differently. If you look, this eye is kind of like he's checking her out, and this eye is a little more devious. Her getting hypnotized is good. Then this is good. So a lot of panels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, I don't know if you want to count that as panel. Still, that's a lot of drawings for a page. But because he has his style boiled down, he's not killing himself doing this. This is great. I always love this. I inked this page a bunch of times too. This is the colors are a little dark on this page. This is a nice page. This always was a little weird. Like when he indicates the jaw a lot, I think it wasn't working for him. I love this face, and this was great too. So this scan is a little muddy on top of the fact that it's a little dark, but these two faces in particular on this page were great. I always like that hand coming in. Her gesture there's cute, and then her just taking off. And we've got Queelock popping into the scene. I inked this page a bunch of times too. Wow, that is crazy. I had no idea I'd done so much hard work. I was driven, look, these two guys, Alex and Jeff Scott, I think he goes by a little bit more now. They were the top dogs, man. And like, it's like if you want to play on a Super Bowl team, you need to be at Super Bowl level. So I didn't mess around, you know, did not mess around to get this job and to keep it. And was well worth it. So really good shot, classic Image comics. The hobo in the alley, and Spawn could show up any minute with the Violator. This is great. Oh man, he's so good. I'm really glad I picked this book. This is great. Them coming into the scene, really really cool. And then this is nice. It's tricky to draw facial hair on characters. It's like he did a real nice job. This is great. This is great, and this is great. Really, really like a lot of personality to him. Oh, I've inked this page a bunch of times too. Wow, what the heck, Rich, you were out of your mind. I remember doing that logo, this panel. Somewhere I have some of them for sure. I sold a few back in the day. This was always really nice. Her kind of waking up groggy, and then this was a great Lynch. Like you could really feel him getting better and better at drawing Lynch. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 panels. It's a busy page. Oh, yeah, this is good. The bad guy's showing up. Man, this guy is so awesome. Nice clothing. It's stylized drapery, but he does it really well. His character's cool. She's awesome. Again, this is very comic book style, indicating silky material or spandexy material, but you really, really have to pay attention to how you light it, because just putting a bunch of random shapes on stuff, it can look funky real fast if you're going for more style over a substance. So it's a combination of the two, leaning towards substance, having stylistic characteristics. Man, it's so cool. Oh yeah. That's awesome. Yep, yep. Really cool. Oh yeah. He's good at these kind of things too. Her face gets a little distorted there, but that's a tough shot. It's quite an extreme upshot. This is really nice. Nice down shot. He's keeping his character pretty good on model too, where besides the obvious things like the hair and stuff like that, the faces are pretty consistent. I mean, you could argue that Fairchild and Roxy, if they were bald, and you just saw their face, they would be similar looking, but he was pretty mindful of proportion and making characters look unique. This is great. Man, guy is so cool. This is awesome too. And really, at the time, nobody was really drawing like Jeff in comics. I mean, he had influences like someone like Arthur Adams, but he turned it into a cartoon that had an image flair. It was pretty revolutionary. Because usually, if people went cartoony, it went more extreme. He was able to create an aesthetic that the characters were bigger. They didn't look like children, kind of like a lot of times cartoony styles can end up all the characters look like they're 5'3" or something. Jeff kept the proportions more superheroic. Queelock is great. Yep, this is nice. That was a great face right there too, and this too actually is very nice. Cool pose. Oh, and the team shot. I inked this a bunch of times too, at least twice. Yep, yep, yep. And again, that's very stylish, but he's not putting shapes anywhere where it catches your eye and looks overly weird. That's the trick to this stuff is his placement of them is really really appealing. This is great. His fingers were a pain in the butt, but well worth it. Little stuff there. This is a great face right here. This is really good. Man, he makes it look easy. The stuff is not that easy is you'd think. And it's quite detailed too. That's the thing is even though it is boiled down, it's still and this is something I'll point out too, is as simple as this background is, it's actually nicely executed. He puts this with the bolts. That's a really, really nice touch. And then this little bit of texture here, and again this with the joints. It lends a level of a believability, and then he's got one vent, and then the rest of it is really suggested with a little bit of texture on it to sell it. But one, two, three things really put it into a reality. Yeah, this is cool. Okay, we're at 22 minutes. Man, I could do a whole series on Jeff's work. Maybe I will. And not for hits, but just because I'm a fan. This was great. This he did all on one board too, but her knocking him out and then dancing around his head is so classic. And if anyone's seen Jeff's work process, he generally will do small thumbnails about this size. So I think he would divide 11 by 17 into four parts, like kind of down the middle and like this, and he'll lay out a page pretty detailed about this size, and then he blows it up. So that helps draw something this large on a page and keep it in proportion because it is difficult. There's quite a few artists. I know Jim and Mark Silvestri in particular do draw big on the board generally. It can be challenging to do big things like this and keep them on point. Great boots. And he's a monster with the tread too. It's definitely where I got the like you have to draw the tread on the bottom of the boot. Travis definitely later on was another guy that did it, but Jeff's work was the one where I originally kind of keyed in on man. What it is because he does it in perspective too, so he actually draws the tread, but it's always good form. So I was impressed by that. Jeff really understands 3-dimensional form. This is great too, man. So inspiring. This was such a pretty face. This is good too. Great pose, man. That would be tough to draw. Tough to draw for me at least. And he's got her hips. It's like the contrapposta. Because this one's going down, this hip is going up, so he's got it switched. That's really good too. Oh yeah, this. Really, really cool. That's nice. He's starting to have them like this protective shell sort of kind of come over him. I forgot that grunge has that power. I don't remember really what it is. This is nice too. He's good with like kneeling poses. It's not the easiest thing to do. Oh yeah. Again, all the background drops out on this. Great hand. That's funny. Her throwing him. It's really, really nice. Just really nice motion. The hair, everything is just. And I think that's a wrap on this one. All right, so we're going to try to go through. I'm at 25 minutes. We'll We'll go through one. Oh, and then Queeluck. He's so cute. If those intruders were willing to kill you to capture it, we can be sure we haven't heard the last of them. Whoop, whoop. And look, a little fan art. All right, let's do a little bit of this. So this was my first comic that I worked on as an assistant. Garner was leading the ship. Trust me, I did very, very little. But, you know, I was filling in blacks and maybe a tiny bit of background. I don't remember exactly, but man, look at that cover. Can you imagine? That is so awesome. Really, really good. Beautiful inks on it. It's just all win. The Barry Windsor Smith variant cover. Okay, so we got sexy face. Got the bad guy. I remember filling in the blacks on this page. Oh yeah, that's cool. Man, so nice. Very cool. Sarah Becker. Green Day shirt and Nirvana. That's pretty funny. Soundgarden. What? I love Soundgarden, man. I do. Yeah, really, really good. I'm a little speechless. Oh yeah, this is so cool. Again, this stuff is pretty detailed. It's like it may not seem like it compared to like other stuff, but this was probably, if I remember correctly, all drawn on the board too. So it's like even though it's knocked out, you've got detail, detail. This is real detailed. This is, yeah, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Really nice page though. Got all these little blacks. Oh, so nice. I used to own this page, the original. I sold it actually just like last year. Trent Reznor, man. Worm bait. Oh, it's cool. Kind of classic imagey face right there. Oh yeah. I don't know what would happen now if you did this in a comic book. It would have to be an Image comic book, which this was back in the day. I did quite a few samples of this page too. I remember inking this at least 3 times. Grunge's hair in the pool. Yeah, but scans on this are a little dark. It's still nice. This is really good. He's great at stuff like this. His like attention to detail on like little things like a drink with fruit in it or whatever. It's like always impressive. Always impressive. That's really cool. Well, this is fun. I hope everyone's going to have a super fun Sunday. I actually have a theme song in mind for Super Fun Sunday. I might work on it over the next week or two. We'll see. It's going to get all my videos flagged, though. When I upload them, they'll probably immediately be demonetized, even though it'll be a tweak on something. But we'll see what happens. I'm curious of how powerful YouTube's computer matchup algorithm is, or whatever. It's cool, man. I haven't seen this in so long. This is a powerful looking leg. It's a little like some of these little shapes are maybe a little too much, but it's still pretty nice. This is good. Tough shot to draw. He's great with like the anatomy that you don't draw as much, the back of the legs and stuff like that. He's got it down. Oh yeah, it's a very shiny wave. It's funny because in San Diego we have those kind of stairs that come down, so it's got nice attention to detail on that. It's funny too in La Jolla, the last house, kind of on the edge of one of the points, looks a little like that. Oh, that's cool. Nice attention to detail. They look like Fender cabinets. They could be Marshall, but I don't see a logo, so they look more like Fender. Oh man, it's nice. A lot of detail on this too. It's a little hard to see. That's a great face. This is really, really cool too. This is nice. Very, very detailed page. Very detailed. Yeah, this is cool. Oh, this is the end of this one. All right, let's do three, because three is the pirate issue, if I'm not mistaken. Alan M. I actually was Googling this guy to see what had happened to him. He used to sign his work PIL, PIL. But Alan was a real nice guy and a talented artist. He was kind of like a younger artist when I got to Wildstorm. But he had been there for about a year when I got there. Okay, we'll do this issue because I do actually love this one. Beautiful cover, clearly a small nod to maybe someone like Drew Struzan. And yeah, that is cool. The girls are pretty. He looks heroic. It's just really, really good. Really good. Oh yeah, this is nice. A little dark of the scan, but again, attention to detail in this area here is just off the charts. It's really, really well done. And yeah, curly wire there. Nice. Lynch comes in. Really good storytelling here. Great face. That's really nice. Cool hand. They have the convo. She's like, what? He's like, look, baby. And she's like, screw this. I'm out of here, dude. Nice attention to detail. He's got the spiral binder still there. And yeah, you go, Jeff. Oh, yeah, this is a great page. I love this shot of Roxy. This is great. The macaroni and cheese in there. Again, just really, really nice attention to detail. Very simple. Nothing else in the kitchen except that you see that clearly is someone in a maid costume. And she's got food. You get this nice shot of the dirty dishes. Great pants. This looks even contemporary today. This is a really great face, too. Oh, man, it's nice. Looks a little like the Haunted Mansion. And, yep, really, really good. Really good. This is cool. Lord Reeve. And Mike Heisler, interesting. I don't know if Christopher Reeves had fallen on the horse yet or not. Interesting. I don't know what year that was. Oh man, that's cool. And Michael Jackson on the wall. Yeah, this is really nice. Really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lots of panels, man. Really, really great. Oh man, White Zombie. I don't know if nowadays you can actually put people like band shirts in comics for a big company. Elastica, Beastie Boys, and I can't remember. Massive Attack. Could be Banksy. Oh man, it's so cool. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up there. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, this is really nice. Love this guy's face. Oh man, you're inspiring me big time, Jeff. This is good. Good work. Great work, man. Yep. This is why I love this stuff. Still do. Still do. Really nice colors here. Oh yeah. All right. Well, we'll come back to this. I'll definitely do a part 2 of this, and we'll start on issue 4 because that was really fun and just it's really really good art. Man, he draws great animals too. Really beautiful inks. Alex is really getting some great textures at this point, and yeah, they were enjoying their skills. It was like they had gotten good, and then they were able to actually flex their muscles. Tom McWinkie. Okay, we're gonna call it there, and oh, it's a story. Oh, I'm running out of time. That's the only reason I'm kind of rushing. This is great. And Tom is on Facebook and Instagram, and he's been doing some Gen 13 kids stuff lately. So he's definitely worth following. It's MCWEENEY. That's cool. Okay, cool. Smash the like, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.